This is just the most adorable little small town.
I think it's one of the best places to raise a family.
Well, what's nice about Cape May is that you could describe almost all of the businesses as mom and pops.
You want to go there and experience Cape May.
You have a problem, people rally, you feel the love, and you know how important we all are to each other.
Welcome to Cape May Trading Post at Dellas, a coastal community store. Zach, good to see you, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us,
Absolutely.
man. What's going on in the wonderful world of Cape May right now?
Well, I think it'd be easier to say what isn't, but that's, this is the time of year. It's funny just driving in here, you're seeing everybody's put up the awnings, start mulching the gardens and all that kind of stuff, getting ready for the season. And I know you were just talking to Mr. Coffee. I always laughed in Cape May. It was like you go to the bar this time of year and people have paint under their fingernails a little bit, getting ready for the season is a big...
Weather's turning.
Yep.
I was thinking that on the way in. It's like March, April, but now it's changed. Like,
Sure.
I mean, we were all around town last night. We shot all day yesterday, shooting awesome and interviewed so many great people, but we were, taking Joe out and showing him a little good time around town and
Right.
Lucky Bones and Seaview, and it was packed.
And you couldn't have taken them to some of those places before. Maybe the sea.
I mean, it's a Wednesday,
right,
in March,
Yep.
and I think that's really cool. And,
It is.
I'm constantly defending the town when I go other places.
Right.
Especially being from Philly, and we're all transplants that come down here. We actually own and lived here for several years.
Right.
But it's funny, like, this town has turned to a year-round town. Why do you think it has?
Well, I think it's really too. COVID kind of helped because actually we now have a couple of the younger families back in town that unfortunately we were losing for a long time. But work from home I think really helped. But that Christmas season really extended the most people think that the best time of year in Cape May is the fall, right? That October time frame is beautiful. The ocean actually even warms up a little bit. So that's always, kind of extended further. But now going into the Christmas season, then it's like it goes right into, Valentine's Day. And I'll be jumping in the ocean on Saturday for St. Patrick's Day, polar plunge. So, I mean, it just seems like an event just brings us, all the way through, really.
Yeah. The Christmas parade has exploded. Talk about that.
It's crazy. I mean...
What type of operation is that for you?
I gotta hand it to West Cape May. It's the West Cape May Christmas Parade, not the Cape May Christmas Parade. I get reminded of that all the time by that mayor, by Carol Sabo. It's just like such a fun. I mean, I made a ton of work. All volunteers. Our police do a great job. We have volunteer fire police, the firefighters. They all do a great job keeping everybody safe, which is obviously so important anyway. But the event's just incredible, and it has just grown. It's funny. It's a 3-hour event, but everybody comes out, has a good time. Might have a couple solo cups with some coffee in there or whatever, and have a good time.
It is a great time.
Yeah.
I was fortunate. Back-to-back bye weeks when I was with the Carolina Panthers were the first weekend in December, the very last bye week in the NFL. When you're not a great football team, which we weren't in Carolina over the years, sadly.
Right.
I think this is true. Like the good teams have like middle of the year bye week because it's advantageous to the team.
Right.
But when you're a little lower on the totem pole, you get the end of the year or really early on.
Right.
So I loved it. Like I knew we'd be off for the week because it's late in the year, so I would come here and hang out.
That's awesome.
Obviously, Coach Rule's been around town, and there's a whole influence from people from Philly and Temple, and it's great. It's a great. Not to get sideways, it's a great football town, great pageantry and fandom with that too.
Yep.
So that's great. But neither here nor there, I had some good times. Colliers, shout out to that crew there. They do a great job for the Christmas parade. And it's Reed and their family are great.
That is the unique part about it too, is you have these. I get some nice invites for the Christmas parade.
I'm sure.
But I could never go to all of them because I mean they're great little parties all around West Cape May.
The West Cape May. The one day I was there, people were inviting us into their house. I'm like,
right.
What? They're like. I was like, is there a bathroom in there?
Yeah, right.
I need to go.
Right. That's the one night you can actually use a restroom in just about any house in Cape May.
Every house. People were wonderful.
Right.
I'm like, this is incredible.
Come on in.
They're hand sanitizer.
Yeah, right.
This is great. But I think, and again, it was what this show is about here for the Trading Post.
Right.
Is about this community.
Right.
Let's go back to your start here, growing up
Sure.
here. Talk about your journey from day one here to kind of bullet points of where you are now.
Well, you said you spent half your time in like the Philly area and Cape May and everything, my parents, so I'm not a true local because I was born here, but my parents weren't. So, like,
Okay.
by the definition, my parents were up around Bucks County, and my mom's Abington. And in any event, so they came here. One of their first dates away was to Cape May. My mom brought my dad here. She had a dream of having a bed and breakfast in town. And they did. They bought a bed and breakfast in town. It was kind of during the early 70s when there was this renaissance of bed and breakfast. And we were actually, before we started, talking about Tom and Sue Carroll. They had the mainstay. And they were kind of like the archetype for bed and breakfast in the industry. And that whole time, there's so many great stories about people fixing up these old houses and almost making a new industry. And like you said, we're a year-round kind of community now. It really started with that. I mean, they really got people to come down to Cape May because a lot of these places were like in really bad shape, So they started here, grew up in Cape May Point, only really went away for college.
That's incredible. Growing up in the Point, let's pause at college.
Right.
Growing up in the Point, that place is incredible.
Yeah.
That is like Nantucket, Montauk, rural. It's talk about that. It's hard to explain it to people.
Well, yeah. So
because Cape May is Cape May.
Yeah, right.
And then everyone's like, "What makes Cape May great?" I'm like, "Well, we have the Point. Have you ever been there? What's the Point? Oh, we have a beach plum farm. There's a farm here.
Right.
It's not just like square blocks and a beach." So,
Right.
Sorry, continue. The Cape May.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's funny. Like Cape May Point, of course, is as south as you can go in New Jersey, right? You can just go all the way down to the bottom. And I always thought it was funny growing up down there that attracted like a certain type of person. That if you were a year round in Cape May Point, you knew everyone down there. And,
it's an interesting group for sure, right? In the best way possible.
Right. Everyone knew us, of course, because we were like one of the only kids growing up down there. So everyone kind of had an eye on the young kids.
It's a safe place. It's a safe place, I would assume.
Right. We had a couple families down there. The Russell boys were. So it was great. We had such a. And
there was families out there though.
Yeah.
A little bit different than now.
And just this year we did a little ice skating in Cape May Point, which we hadn't done in a while.
Where was that at? The pond? I saw you posted.
Yeah, we were at the Cape May Point Lighthouse Pond there.
Oh, okay.
And then an undisclosed location back in the fields back there.
I know.
I can't tell you.
I know where. I think I know where it's at. But I was like, I would love to be in Cape May right now, and particularly as a hockey fan and junkie and someone who played growing up. That looks so fun.
Oh. We had a blast.
Yeah.
It was.
So the Point's really unique. Sorry, I didn't cut you off.
No. We had a local the lifeguard band came over and played music.
No
we had the speakers.
way.
We had the lights out there at night. It was awesome.
That was Cape May though. That's the town. Like it's fun, obviously, but it's fun to the point where it's. I like this place too, maybe compared to other beach towns because there's a lot of people from all over the place here.
Right. It's a mixing pot.
It is a mixing pot.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't imagine the Point back in the day. Here's another thing. When that concrete ship goes, are we going to put another concrete ship there?
Well, of course, the USS United States just came out of Philly, right? Went by Cape May. And I did have a couple people say, like, why didn't we just have that stop right out there and let it sink there, And I actually love that idea. But, so we'll have to see.
Because that concrete ship is every year.
And people love it. I mean, I have a boat. Cool. I like to go around there, check it out with the kids.
I mean, it's on a beer at Cape May Brewing Company.
Right.
What's Cape May Brewing Company's just right outside of town.
Right.
What's their imprint on this town? Because I don't want to say they put validity to the town, but
sure.
I think their brand's so big and so strong and so wonderfully done, and Ryan and her team are wonderful.
Yeah.
Like it adds another element to this place. Like
100%.
It's a big time brand and employer in this little town.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny to think that there's a brand out there that some people know but don't know the city of Cape May.
That's exactly what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Yeah.
So no, that's been huge for Cape May, honestly. And then even the tourism for breweries, I think Cape May Brewery has helped bring a lot of people to help the other smaller breweries too, So, I mean, that's been another major industry between our wineries and the breweries, distillery. I mean, it really has turned out to be just another additional thing that people come to Cape May for. So that's just been huge.
Yeah, come as you are. All right, so let's pick back up. Go to college, leave Cape May.
Yep.
And then make your way back here.
Make my way back. Yeah. So my family has two businesses in town. We have the Chalfont Hotel, oldest hotel in Cape May, continuing operated.
Yeah.
You interviewed Curtis yesterday, I think, or one, and they have Congress Hall was 1816 that actually did burn to the ground. Luckily for us, rebuilt, and then the Chalfont survived the same fire. So it's kind of a cool little history there. But so Chalfont Hotel, and then Cape May National Golf Club. And that's really what I did. So I didn't get too far out of school where it was time to come back and make sure I was working for the family business, as I know you know. Other than the NFL. But.
But there's something about family business. Talk about
Yeah.
that, because it's funny. Like, even talking with my in-laws who are in business and successful,
Right.
but it's not a family business.
Right.
Your conversations at the dinner table are much different.
Yeah.
It may be
yeah.
about something going on in the world or whatever it is, but like the conversation at our dinner table are about what happened today at work,
Yeah, right.
and what's going on, and how do we
Right.
solve a problem, and who do we hire, and the impact on the community this decision has, or what. It's really
Right.
unique.
Right. Yeah, it's I love it. I think, some families do it better than others,
Yeah,
working
it's hard.
together,
Yeah.
And it is. It can be hard, but our family really does get along really well with each other, and I think the nice thing that probably my dad helped kind of set up was using each of his children's unique talents in different areas and everything. Like my sister really manages like the weddings at the Chalfont. She loves that. Her name's Ellie. She does a great job with that. My brother Dylan, he's the general manager at the Chalfont, and I'm the general manager at the golf course. So we kind of, and also
great.
we're a little bit separated. So
Yeah.
we get around that dinner table, and it's not we were like breathing down each other's necks that
I hear
day.
you, man. My mom serves a drink for us. It's a family business, but it's mom. My brother works for the
Right.
company in a full-time capacity. So is my dad. But for
Right.
me, just doing this stuff is great and she's excited to carry on this legacy at Dellas.
Yeah.
That's an amazing family business in this town, and centrally located, the center point of the Washington Street Mall, which is the quote-unquote center point of this town.
And she's doing such a great job.
Oh, yeah, she's
and I mean that because even I don't say that like as the mayor, because when a location like that gets sold, people get nervous. I mean that has been
Yeah.
a cornerstone of the community for a long time. And people were hoping that it wouldn't be this or that, and you guys have just done such a nice job with that and really improved it, which is awesome.
Yeah, she preserved it. I was walking around there today, and just like anything, it will evolve and to the best way to pay respect to the past and new product and exciting stuff.
That's
and,
really cool.
Yeah, she wanted to make sure there were still, the toys
Yep.
for the beach
Yep.
and the candies and the ice cream and the coffee. And
I can't go by there with my kids, so
you'll have a new Christmas ornament before you know it.
right.
So, yeah, it's a wonderful place. The Chalfont, the Ramble, talk about that.
Yeah.
I think it's a huge part of town.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
wasn't a part of my notes to talk about today.
Right.
But why not? I mean, it's funny. I would drive by it and be like, what was that? That looks awesome.
Right.
Underage years
Yeah,
before I
yeah.
could have a cocktail.
Right.
And then when I got older, I'm like, I'll be riding my bike down there. And what a cool place to pull up on your bike
Yeah,
and hang out.
yeah.
And what an awesome time.
Yeah, thank you.
Can you explain it to the
Thank
outside
you.
world? I know nothing about it.
Yeah, well, so it's really, I would say, a collection of all the best musicians in town come together on Thursday nights. They call it the Ramble. And what you can't describe is kind of the vibe and the kind of like love feelings that you kind of have there. It's just an awesome group of people. I think it attracts a bunch of fun, nice people.
Families, big time.
Yeah. So
Everybody.
The music is awesome. The vibe is awesome, and it's just kind of exploded. I mean, it's been pretty big. So
Yeah, it's huge.
yeah,
All on the lawn, people on the lawn
Yeah,
chairs.
yeah.
You're like, that person's been sitting there since like
Yeah,
3
they set up
o'clock,
early. You got to
2
set up early.
o'clock.
You got to set up
I'm
early.
just pulling in here, leaving the
Right.
Seaview or Lobster House.
Right.
That's great. So just talk about some of the latest things you've done in this town. I mean, I think you do
Sure.
a wonderful job talking about
Thanks.
them on Facebook. Like if
Yeah.
you're not following Zach, you're a great follow.
Yeah, thank
because
you.
you're talking about the town, and you also poke some fun at some things of like, yes, things are changing.
Right.
But like, the best part about Cape May is things are going to change, and that is
Right.
inevitable.
Right.
But you, your team, the city, do a wonderful job keeping the integrity of this wonderful place.
Thank you.
And I
Thank
think
you.
people notice it.
Thank you. Yeah.
So what's the latest in town? What have you guys been working on?
Well, you said team, and that really it is. I mean, you know as much as anybody how important the whole team is to get things done. But what I love about Cape May, and it's funny, when I see people complain about changes and things like that.
And this is on Facebook, by the way, everybody. Very few people are coming up to you saying, I would say, how many? A handful may come up to you and say, I don't like this.
Right.
But on Facebook, preferably Cape May Live, John Cook, everybody's got an opinion on it.
Right.
And whoever the guy is, on a side note, who puts like the stuff in the background that he's kidding around, like someone put a whale on top of a building or something. I think it's
funny.
hysterical.
Yeah,
so
it's
thank
hilarious.
you. Keep going.
It is
But
hilarious.
continue.
Yeah. No, I think I have a little of that in me where it's like, I don't want to see a lot of change. So like I actually usually half agree if, with some of the complaints and things like that. Because, Cape May is such a wonderful town. And most people don't know this. Cape May is the only National Historic Landmark city in the country. We're the only whole city where it's a National Historic Landmark. Wow. So, any projects that the city does, we actually have to go before the state, because not just our local Historic Preservation Commission, but the state has to review our projects. So it's to be honest with you, a little bit of red tape, but it's ultimately a good thing. And so I just think, we have to always be conscious that the changes that we're making might be something that people are like really love. When we did the updates down at the Cove Pavilion there, the little pavilion, when we started like doing some of the demolition work of it, I got so many notes like, I was married there, what are you doing? And I said, I get it, believe me, we'll do this nicely and it's going to be a nice but people who are concerned, and you understand why. So anyway, ultimately it looks beautiful, it's lovely, but you have to be conscious of that. But I think, some of the bigger projects that we got going right now is like the desalinization plant. That's, Cape May was the first city on the East Coast to have a water desalinization plant. So because of the saltwater intrusion that we have, we're right here on the ocean, our water source was getting more salinity. So about 25 years ago, they did a desalinization plant. Now we're redoing that plant. It's like a $30 million project. It's really, really big.
Wow.
Going after all the funding and all that. So that's moving along well. Hopefully have something in the next 2 years.
Talk about the arches. It's a hot topic. It restores some history in this town.
Yeah. And that was kind of cool. We knew the promenade really needed. Everybody loves the promenade, right? And it's funny. People's memory of it is maybe a little bit different than what it actually is. You start to, okay, this is really getting a little crummy, and the surface and all that kind of stuff. So we widened it, which was nice. The DEP, let us do that.
More people here now, folks. We got to widen it.
Yeah, right. So we widened it, and then of course we had these old telephone poles with the sodium lights, which were like terrible dark sky. And
it's
all
funny
that.
because I forgot about them, and we were interviewing Ross, and he talked about getting rid.
Oh, isn't that nice?
But
Yeah.
I remember the dim, dark, flickering lights, and I'm like, not that I ever came out of Carney's after midnight,
No,
but when I
of
would
course.
leave Carney's
No,
at a
right.
reasonable hour, I would
Right.
come out and look up, and be like, that's kind of gloomy, and the fog would be coming off the ocean. And you're like,
Right.
It's kind of gloomy.
Yeah, well, so we actually,
Really
Curtis
looks good.
Bashaw was one of the folks that approached us along with a couple members of the Historic Preservation Commission, and they had these old photos of the arches that used to exist on the promenade, and it was kind of like one of those photos that I've, as mayor, I know the history pretty well at Cape May. You've seen these old photos of some of the hotels that no longer exist, or the Light of Asia. That was the elephant that was the sister elephant to Lucy in Margate.
Okay.
We used to have our own Lucy in Cape May. So you've seen these old kind of like things. You're like, oh, that's so cool. I'm like, and then you look at the design of what we do today, which is like a telephone pole with a light on it. And you're like, God, we used to do things like beautifully, like take a little extra effort and do it. Anyway, that was the arches. So,
I like it.
The HPC got to put together a design and all that. And so we've gotten different feedback. For the most part now, I think people are pretty happy.
Change in the beginning, everyone's going to struggle with, but
Right.
I think, again, I have a clear sight of it. It looks beautiful.
Thank you.
This new little boardwalk
Yeah.
beach thing,
Yeah.
this kind of, for me, came out of nowhere. Now, we have a growing family, just had a baby, so I haven't been here in the last really year as much as I usually am. But talk about this. Where'd the idea come from and the execution of it, and where's it at now? It looks awesome.
It does. That's one of my favorite ones, and it's hard to do anything that you get like 99% approval on. That's one that was really kind of cool.
Yeah.
And ADA accessibility, like some of the nicest letters that I've received as mayor is people saying like, I haven't been able to go to the beach, or I haven't been able to take my mother to the beach in so many years, and this year we were able to go, and thank you, you know. So, and then we'll be expanding it this spring. It'll be going from where it stops right close to Howard Street here. It'll be going down past Madison Avenue, so that'll be really cool.
That's so cool.
But for those who don't know, it goes from Howard Street all the way down to the Cove. If you want to go for a jog, or you push a baby carriage, you know, it's a great spot.
It's great, and I think it also spreads out town a little bit.
Yeah, no,
You
it
have this
does.
wonderful real estate that is used, but not really.
Right.
But for now, like if it's busy on the promenade, it spreads some people out.
Exactly.
And then in the wintertime, you get a nice day and you want to walk on the beach.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tremendous. It
Yeah.
helps people move, kids and
Yeah,
elderly.
exactly.
And
Yep, yep.
Good for you. So what's
So-
the next 5-10 years look like for this town?
So, like right now, we have that nature. I don't know if you saw the nature trails that we're doing over on Lafayette Street. You know, Lafayette Street Park is. I could use your help on that. You know, it's been like a 10-year
Yeah.
long thing. With I won't get into a whole, but you know, Jersey Central Power and Light, JCP&L, State Historic Preservation Office, HPC, DEP, EPA, blah 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 blah. Every acronym you can think of. But anyway, we've finally kind of settled all of that. And this spring we'll start, some of the ball fields out there will start.
Awesome.
The nature trails are going out behind there in the marshes. That'll be a great spot to walk. The next phase will be the basketball courts, pickleball courts, parking lot, which is important in Cape May,
Yep.
and a police station. So
Nice.
all that'll be happening hopefully within the next 2 years, really. So that'll be really great. The other big one in the next 5 years is the extension of the promenade. So right now we have it all approved, which is huge. It takes years to get these DEP approvals and everything.
Wow.
But if you know Cape May, you know the promenade kind of stops randomly. We're all used to it now, but it
Yeah.
just stops kind of close to the Kiwanis Club there, Philadelphia Avenue.
Yep.
It's going to now extend from there all the way down to Poverty Beach, so all the way down to Wilmington. So we have $25 million in federal funding for that.
That's a serious project.
So we're hoping we can get that started maybe next winter. We'll
Man,
see.
that's going to really spread out town again for the right reasons. I mean that
Yeah.
spread out in a good way. And
Yeah.
and make it accessible to the homes down there a little bit better.
Exactly.
Safer than being on the sidewalks.
Yep.
Because it kind of bottles up down there and you got to cross and then.
Exactly. I mean, and you know, going for a run or a jog, now you'll be able to go from down from the Cove all the way
Yeah.
to Poverty Beach. I mean, it'd be pretty cool. And obviously the storm protection, you know, I mean, I don't know if you remember, but during Sandy, that's where it breached down at Wilmington there.
Oh, really?
There's like
'Cause it
kind of a
did.
famous photo of like that street sign with
Yes.
the sand right up to it.
That's
you know
there.
I mean? That's where it broke through. So this FEMA funding is really coming from back when Sandy occurred.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Hey, it's going to protect the island.
Yeah, right.
It makes sense for everybody. It's
Yeah.
a win-win. Before we wrap up, just like fill our listeners, whoever's taking in, whether you're from
Right.
Cape May or not from Cape May, just like on this community, like from a business perspective, from a small business perspective, like what makes up of it, the people, the schools, like I know it's kind of a vague question, but
Yeah.
it's really what I'm looking for and what I want to provide for everyone is like a taste of someone who doesn't know what this place is and why
Sure.
what makes it so special.
I think it's one of the best places to raise a family. I mean, and that might not be like the best answer, but I tell all my friends, like, we have 2 elementary schools on this island. You know, we have West Cape May, you have Cape May Elementary. If you are lucky enough to be able to afford here, and that's a separate issue, that's a difficult one. But if you're lucky enough to afford to live here, this is a perfect place to raise a family. I mean, the schools are incredible. You know, I mean, like, I live on Corgi Street, which is a small little one-way street, 2 blocks to Cape May Elementary School. It's just this amazing little school, wonderful, like,
It's awesome.
wonderful community. But I think, like you just said, the mixture of small businesses and residents, and all these residents that live here, a lot of them are longtime residents, right? So they've grown up in this hospitality industry and world that we live in. And we just got ranked number 2. St. Augustine got us again.
I saw that,
But,
Booking.com. How cool is that?
Yeah, number 2 in most welcoming cities in the
How does
country.
that make you feel, man? You're a part of that. I know you say it's a community and you're not, but that's really got to be
I mean, it's
special.
wonderful to hear it, but I think it's deserved. I mean, as much as that may sound braggadocious or whatever, but
is.
growing up here, so many people are dedicated to hospitality and are just nice people. I mean, you mentioned Facebook. Maybe sometimes it's not nice on there, but
that's
the
not reality.
Yeah, right. The reality is it's a really nice place where people are willing to help, willing to give you directions or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's just, and all, you know, when I talk to the other business owners too, there's almost very little competition in regards to people. Like, people are so working together, and I think we're a small enough community that we all kind of feel like, you know, a high tide rises everybody kind of thing. So, but yeah, I think this community is. The other thing is no like real chains, right? So you have all these like smart, creative people all in one kind of dense location. I don't know how many bars we have. I think it's like we have something like 30 liquor licenses, you know, in a 2 square mile area, you know.
Yes.
So I just think it attracts. You know, we have 2 live theater companies. You know, I mean,
Convention center.
You know, yeah. I mean, we have so much
it's evolving
action.
too, like what you guys have done with the old movie theater over here now.
Right, yeah.
The beachfront, the farm,
Right.
the ponds that you can't tell me
Yeah,
about. Which
right,
I think I know where
We'll
they
find
are.
out later.
But like that's you're like what? Like a fish back there.
Right.
To Higsby Beach.
Right.
Like you're out in farmland. Like what is this? To the canal, which is a whole nother subject
Yeah.
and topic. To the Coast Guard base.
Right, Coast
the-
Guard, fishing industry. I mean, it really.
Talk about the Coast Guard in this town. Like,
Yeah.
I think everyone's like, yeah, the Coast Guard here is great. It helps it with you around town and tourism and
Right.
schools. But what's their impact, at least from your perspective?
Oh,
a
yeah,
perspective that I don't think, obviously, we wouldn't have.
It's huge. I mean, most people don't know it's the only Coast Guard training center.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going into the Coast Guard and need to go to the training, you come to Cape May, which is pretty cool because we've had a lot of other like Coast Guards who trained in Cape May, got a little taste of it, and then 10 years later come back or whatever. You know, I mean, so it's a pretty cool, wonderful community. We have a great partnership with them. In fact, speaking of the desal plant, you know, they use our water, so we're looking for some funding sources from them right now.
Shout out to the U.S. government and to the Coast Guard. We appreciate you. Thank you for your service.
Homeland Security, exactly.
It's pretty funny, too.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be down in Key West or I'll be around the country, and everyone's like,
Yeah.
I went through Cape May.
Right.
Or like, oh, man, I
Right.
hate that place. I'm
Right.
like,
Yeah.
I don't think everybody have ever said that before. Why do you hate Cape
Boot
May? He's like,
camp,
I went through
basically.
boot camp.
Yeah.
But it is cool, and it sounds bad, but you have an Orange Crush at Harry's rooftop deck,
Right.
and here they come
Yeah.
on Sunday,
Yeah.
and they're all running through, and you're
Yep.
just like, there's definitely some, pride
Right.
that they're here too.
And the kids in our community, obviously at our school, you know, I mean, it's really, really cool. And actually, that's another unique part of being, you know, the kids in school here. I mean, you're meeting people from across the country, you know, so it's really interesting education, really.
All right, some quick hitters here, some fun
Sure.
stuff. This is tough too, because you're going to
Okay.
make some decisions as
Okay.
the mayor of different favorite places in
Right,
town. Are you
right.
ready for these tough
Oh,
questions?
man. All right, let's see.
All right, favorite place to get a cup of coffee?
Oh, man. You know what? It used to be an easy answer because there was like one Wawa, right?
Yeah, now it's tough.
Now, and there's so many good ones, really. I mean, I love a bunch of them. I mean, Magic Brain was one of the first, you know, because they had the internet cafe, and I remember that when I was a kid, you know, like before you had a home computer, you could go to Magic Brain and go use their computer.
Yep.
And there's too many good ones. Even over in West Cape May, Golden Stop and Ostera, Out There Coffee.
Better get them all. He's the mayor.
Yeah.
Out there on the mall there.
I can't forget about Jesse on the mall. You know, he does Coffee Time.
Coffee
they do
Time,
a great
thank you.
job.
And they're on the beach.
Bagel Time right here
Bagel
has great
Time.
coffee. Madison's has a great coffee. You know,
I think we hit them all.
Dellas has some good coffee.
Dallas, the best coffee in town.
Right.
No, that's
great counter there. I mean, you actually do a great job.
It's an
cool.
old school
It's cool.
counter. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It was fun. I'm like, man, I don't know if I'm going to ask him these. Okay, favorite place to grab a beer in town?
Well, you just interviewed Greg Coffee at Seaview, and that's, I mean, you know,
That's cool.
Cape May does not have what you would consider a dive bar necessarily.
Yeah.
It used to at another person you interviewed at
Mayors.
Mayor's.
Yes.
You could get in a fist fight there and have a beer.
Which is crazy because I never went there. I was too young.
Right.
But we're not going there. Great, no problem. I never thought of it. The new mayor's incredible.
Yeah, they do a great job.
It's one of my favorite places in town.
It's awesome.
Period.
Awesome. You obviously still get your scallops there and
Of
everything.
course.
You know.
So the Seaview,
But the
okay.
Seaview is great. I mean,
It's a staple.
Look, like I said, I think we have 30 bars in Cape May. You know, I mean, we have so
you
many
can find a
good
good
ones.
time. But Seaview has a different culture, all walks of life.
Yep.
From
Yep.
the busboy, which is at Lobster House,
Yep.
to you know, someone who owns tons of real estate in this town sitting next
Right.
to them, to
Right.
Joe Watson, who plays for the Flyers,
Right,
spends a
right,
lot of
right.
time there, to the mayor of town
Yep,
having a
yep,
beer, and then
yep.
Greg, the owner, and the wonderful bartenders and servers there. It's a wonderful place. It's
Yeah,
everyone,
absolutely.
every single person has said that. John Cook did say the Mad Batter.
Matt Batter's
Which
a
is
great,
a great spot.
And it's great music, and that's intimate too.
Yeah,
that's
it's a different,
nice.
it's a whole different
But
thing.
Taco Cabaret, you know,
yeah,
Carney's.
Taco
That's
Cab's
all,
done a great
the
job.
mug. I mean, it's,
Yeah,
the
it's
mug
like-
is great too.
I'm putting
I
it
have
on
a
the
mug there, so I have to, you know.
I'm putting you on the
You have
spot.
to mention that.
Favorite place, another put on the spot here.
Right.
Favorite place to get some ice cream with your family.
Oh, well, I'm kind of the original over there at the Dry Dock. You know,
Yes,
Bob
Dry Dock.
Matthews is the Matthews family. But I mean, look, again, great one right here. You know, right
gotta
on the
sing
beach
'em all.
front.
Poor
you know,
Brothers.
Yeah.
Fudge Kitchen has ice
Fine
cream.
Fellows is great, and actually the Kings, you know, where they did that
Yes.
big renovation across
Beautiful
from
property.
Colliers. I mean, they did such a fantastic job. So I mean, yeah,
Dry Dock's
a lot
the,
of good
the
ones.
king to me because I am a Reese's Cup guy, and they have
me
the
too.
crushed Reese's Cups.
Yeah, yeah.
The crumble.
I do the exact same
See?
thing.
Veteran order.
Right.
And that's right up
Yeah.
up my alley. Let's see, Joe. What else am I missing here from the quick hitters? Oh, favorite beach.
Favorite beach? We love going down to the Cove. You know, I mean, with the kids, it's great. You know, they have a little, you know, good surfing beach, but also kind of a little more gentle slope and everything for the kids going out there. So we love that. Howard Street, you know, right down from the Chalfont, always fun. But yeah, I like the Cove.
Any fun memories from the Chalfont over the years, like really cool moments or something with a patron, maybe even from the golf course perspective,
Sure.
like something from interaction over the years that you're like, this is always a cool story I like to share.
Well, the Chalfont I love. I grew up always like a little bit handy, but like had to become really handy as, you know, the oldest hotel in Cape May. So working there, growing up, I always, being like in the general manager position, you know, you're always dealing with customers and in a good way, you know, but sometimes in a tough way and dealing with employees and things like that. I always loved this time of year for being able to just work with my hands. Like I do a little carpentry and things like that. And I've always taken some pride in fixing up these my house on Corgi Street. I built the addition back there. I've always enjoyed that. Always fixing up the Chalfont, the Harry Tubman Museum.
Yeah.
You know, that was just kind of a place that was ready to fall apart. And so I love that stuff. I love like where you can see your own progress, right? You know,
Awesome.
in real time. So that's always
The
been my
firehouse is
favorite.
beautiful too.
Yeah.
I just
that's-
drove by that today.
Yeah, thank you.
Going to
Didn't that
Sturdy.
turn out great?
It's wonderful. It's good to be
Yeah.
back. It's
Yeah.
great to see you. I appreciate you joining the show.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Thanks.